A lines, which will then allow me to pull it up. Good. That's all it is, just bring it up above your head, flies. Turning around so I'm facing the wind. I'm going to get a little bit of altitude here on top of the hill. The more height I've got, the better it is. I have trouble running, which is a bit high, but can be done. Just trying to get that wing close to the hill. What's happening here is the wind is coming off the ocean. It's an easterly, and it's hitting this hill and then going upwards. So the wind going up allows that wing to lift. So today's probably about 8 or 9 knots, which is just on the borderline of me being able to fly. Anything less than that, I'd probably start sinking too much, but today's quite a nice day for it. So I've got control of my wing through my hands, so I can steer it left and right, and I could also make it go up and down. But whenever I make it go up, it gets to a point where it can't climb anymore, depending on the wind. So then I've got to release it again to get a little bit more speed. So this is the biggest hill on the left hand side of the hill. So this is where I'm going to start turning. So I'm going to come in a bit from the hill and then start to turn, a slow turn, and then try and get back on that hill as soon as I can. And the closer I get to the hill, again, more lift. So although it looks like I'm pretty close here, while it looks like I'm close to the hill, I've got the ability to fly away from the hill at any point. So I can always head left out towards the ocean, and that'll get me away from the hill quickly. So I've got full control of that. These sticks hanging out, I've got to try and be careful of those that my lines don't get stuck in them. So it's a bit like you driving your own car. You sort of know where your left and right hand side of your wing mirrors are, and you can avoid stuff. So after a while you do get used to it. And I'm coming back to where I launched from. Now there's another big hill coming up here. The bigger hills is where I get more lift and more height. With more height, I'm able to make it a bit safer to turn. So I'm going to get closer to this hill here without hitting anything. And if I don't get enough lift here, I'm going to keep going up the sand dune. So I wasn't happy with my height there to turn. So I need a bit more wind. Here's another big hill. So I'm going to try and work off this one if I can turn here. So I'm going a bit further back, starting my turn and getting as close to the hill as soon as I can, and coming away from the hill. So with these wings, if I put my hands up, I fly quite fast, and as I gain speed, that generates a lot more energy in the wing. So with energy, that allows me to get speed, which then allows me to pull my hands down, which creates the wing to lift up for me. But then whenever I go up, I must come back down. So I've got to be prepared when the wing starts to come back down. So I'm deliberately getting close to these hills here like I am here just for fun. I know where I am, and you'll notice my wings always facing generally out to the ocean at an angle. That allows me to maintain the lift. So the wing I've got here is a 26 metre wing. That's 26 metres of surface area, and that indicates that it's a big wing. My smallest wing that I've got in this design is 15 metres, 1.5. That's quite a fun wing to fly, but we need a lot more wind for that. Okay, today's about 8 knots. We'd probably need about 20 knots for that 15 metre wing. So I'll grab whatever wing I need depending on the conditions. So today is a real light day. I need more lift, so I get a bigger wing. Here goes my turn again. Pulling down on the right and then pulling back down on my left and easing back up on the right to turn back out from the hill. Normal paraglider wings are designed that my brake handles that I'm holding here, they go only out to the very far tail edge of the wing, the back end, and that just creates drag to turn. The good thing about this wing is I've got all pulley systems up in here. Okay, those pulley systems work on every set of lines on the B's, C's and the trailing edge. So when I pull down, it twists the wing to make it not change shape. It's still got its shape, but it's changed its angle, and that's what's the new design for this moustache wing. Got a mate up here. He's about to decide if he's going to fly, and there he is. Yeah, love it. Right, so here comes my other big hill. This is my turning hill. This is my first option. I'm going to try and get a bit of height. I've got good height now, so I'm going to be probably happy with here if I don't sink. So I'm going to drift back a little bit, start a gentle turn, down on the left, up on the right, back down on the right, and that balances me out, and then back up on the left, and that turns me away from the hill. Hands up to full speed, hands down to go up. Hands up to get speed. So I'm going to try and have a bit of a land to talk to my friend here. Just going to pull that camera in so I don't hit it on landing, and I want to try and turn soon. So if I get a bit of lift off this hill here, it's a bit taller than the rest, I may turn here, depending on my height. Sitting back a bit from the hill. By sitting back from the hill, it allows me to turn, and in the end of my turn, I'm back at the hill again, instead of being too far out towards the ocean. Out there is less lift. Where I am here is the best lift. So I'm going to come in for a landing here. These shrubs are pretty good for the identification where to come in. So I'm going to start drifting back behind this hill. Drifting back, getting up out of my seat, standing up. And I'm going to come and land where Nitzan is. This is the aspect from behind. So yeah, same thing. The wind is probably the same as it was before, 8 or 9 knots. I want to turn on a high point. I'm quite happy with that turn there. Got a bit of lift. Turning, come back to the hill and head back the other way. Hands up, full speed. Down low, come up. And going fast again, hands up. Got a bird up ahead. These guys get fairly used to us after a while, and some birds around Australia, the eagles, will start attacking with the wings. I think these are like little sea eagles, and they're quite friendly. I've had some fly within a metre or two of my wing, just sort of flying off my trailing edge wing. Quite curious, quite happy to be here with us. They're quite beautiful animals, and they're just flying exactly how we're flying. They just got wings to keep them up. So looking out to sea, there's no white caps out there. The white caps indicate probably over 15 knots. 15 knots, I'm going to change down to a smaller wing. I'm going to make my way a bit further down north of the takeoff site. I normally turn here, but I'm going to head down a bit further because the winds are a bit better. Any of these little gaps in between the big hills, you sort of sink a little bit, but you can get through them in preparation for the lift soon after. So I'm going to probably turn on this hill because after this one you get to really like 2 metre sand dunes and they're no good. So I'm going to start drifting back a bit from the hill, drifting back, turning, pull my right hand, lift my left, watch that wingtip, and away I go. So I can also steer this slightly with weight shift. Most aircraft can turn with weight shift. Hang gliders are prominently weight shift in steering. So I can lift my right bum cheek up a bit and force it down on the left hand bum cheek opposed to the weight, and that'll steer it to the left. Wherever the weight is, the wing will turn that way. So I've got my hands up now on full speed. So because I'm full speed and not sinking, it means the wind is strong enough to maintain my height at the maximum speed I can fly, which is the ideal condition. So if I wanted to lose height, I could probably head off out to the left, out here. Out here's less lift. Okay, and there's less lift going up. There's still wind coming at me, but there's less lift. Those guys just caught a massive fish there in their backpack. They're returning back to the launch site, which is just here. My mate has left, I think. And I've got a couple of mates here to fly their drone. Here's my turning hill. I'm going to start heading into it a bit, get a bit more lift. The closer I get to the hill, more lift I get. I'm going to head back a little bit. Back here, lift my right, pull my left. That'll turn me, and my wing is directly over the sand dune where I want it. So yeah, you get into paragliding. Again, I've got a bit of a bad spinal cord injury from a non-paragliding incident, which has impacted my ability to run and walk fast. So I can only fly